There's so many who are in pain when it comes to their choice of loved ones, their choice of friends, their choices in regards to what they're eating, their choices in regards to how they're sleeping, their choice in regard to the internal dialogue which they have with themselves. In so many ways, it's our fault. Our discombobulation, our dissatisfaction. It's not that the human system can't be intrinsically flawed. It's not that there may not be some very, very, very deep-seated chemical imbalances and whatnot that you're born with. But to the effort of offsetting these imbalances, of offsetting this discombobulation, of offsetting this pollution, that's, I believe, where we should be judging ourselves. We should be judging ourselves based upon our effort. And it's very hard to be honest about how much effort you are applying to your lifestyle, which is why I think there's so much power in self criticism. A lot of people shy away from self criticism because it takes a blow to their self-esteem. It you call yourself a fool and then you're down in the dumps. This baffles me, honestly though. This baffles me. I know let's say there's an innocent soul out there who's been called dumb, who's been called a fool, man or woman. They grew up and they were treated with high amounts of toxicity. I understand that. I understand that now it's very difficult for you to call yourself a fool because you were called that unjustifiably. You were criticized irrationally and senselessly. So now you have a psychological allergy to being self critical. Fine. But there's a lot of people who you didn't have that. And even if you did, because I had those episodes here and there in my own life where there was a senseless negativity applied to me. But when are we honest though and realize eventually when we become individualized more so, when we become separate, when we're living our isolated singular lives where the fool, where the where criticism itself takes on a new life. When does a new life happen? Like I understand the baggage that we carry with us from the past. I understand the baggage. However, there's still power in honest, fair, sensible self-criticism. And it's sensible to say at times I'm being a fool. It's sensible to say at times I'm being profoundly lazy. I'm being irrational. And even when you say that, it's still difficult to overcome it because you can say it and give lip service to it, but you don't truly mean it. Which is why, unfortunately, then it goes into the boring realm where we have to acknowledge how important it is to enter into a meditative, contemplative state. And a meditative, contemplative state is utterly the antithesis of how we live today. That's when you withdraw from the phone, when you withdraw from the noise. If you got to put your noise canceling headphones, that's the most priceless thing in my damn life, damn near. The most priceless materialistic possession that I have is noise canceling headphones. Put that sucker on some white noise, or I listen to quote unquote green noise, whatever. I like to pitch, it's just random arbitrary labels applied to them. But it's very, very helpful in centering myself and in having those honest conversations with myself. And it's not about reaching perfection, but you do want some semblance of clarity. Because so many people, have you noticed how there's many people who are operating from a place of perpetual chaos? Is that not like with every people in your life, whether it's coworkers, family, friends, whomever, man, strangers, a lot of people are operating from a place what I call, it's like a passive hysteria. And you could also call it just they're manic. But it's perpetual and there's never a break. You know why? Because if there's a break, then comes the breakdown. And I really do believe that. I believe that the reason why we do not withdraw is because subconsciously there is an awareness that were you to withdraw to the extent that you should, just for episodes at a time, for sessions at a time, you would break down. You know why? Because then all of that which you have swept under the rug rises to the surface. It's almost like an exorcism moment. All of a sudden, there's like a debriefing. There's a debriefing from the subconscious, from behind the curtain of our consciousness, where there's just things rise to the surface, like there's fears that you had that you did not necessarily confront, concerns and stresses and all these things, but they rise and they fall. They rise and they fall. They rise and it's an exercise, which is why I remember years ago I saw this video where kids in school and some private school, they had a class where they practice meditation. And I would argue that those kids are going to be ahead, like 70% of those kids are already ahead of 90% of kids, because that practice in and of itself, the exercise, even if you aren't a meditator, it's not about your identity being somebody, I meditate, but meditation, contemplation, honest reflection, non-judgmental internal confrontation, non-judgmental internal observation is something that is utterly priceless, because it will help you think and move in the appropriate directions. It will lessen the likelihood significantly that you will make decisions based upon just erratic, irrational, senseless notions. And so all that to say, it's about lifestyle, because it's just there's a lot of people who are struggling with just put money aside. It's like the social elements, the sociology of it all, right? And I would say that, man, listen, you have to change not one thing, not two things. You have to change everything. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to have a different lifestyle, not just a different diet, not just merely going to sleep on time. I'm talking about for those who truly struggle, for those who constantly feel like the rug is being pulled from under them, the ones who are constantly feel as though they're making decisions which lead them to unfulfillment, for those who are constantly looking for others for validation. When you are the best version of yourself, you will be validated by other people automatically, because everybody loves somebody. Then when you meet them personally, first of all, I just want to let you know, those who are struggling also with like romantic issues, attraction should be a very, very, very effortless thing in a sense. And when you're constantly forcing yourself socially upon, because like when you have this idea, I need this kind of person, not even mentality wise, but just everything else, looks wise, just kind of like they need to be this tall, they need to be this hard, this aggressive, put all that bullshit aside. What you need, somebody who is an authentic person. You need somebody who's a mindful, aware person. But you will damn sure not meet or even be attracted to that kind of human being if you don't make the effort to be mindful yourself, to be authentic yourself, to be true to yourself. And it's, again, it doesn't happen because you even had an epiphany. It happens because you had an epiphany, step one, and then step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to affinity. You put the effort in day after day to be the kind of human being you know you should be. It's hard as hell. I will give you that. It is utterly hard. The reason why I'm so obsessed with it is because if I was not, I would be just as toxic as anybody else. My addictive interests, my addictive inclinations would take over, and they would call the shots. I would just gorge on stimulation after stimulation to stimulation till I get sick, recover, stimulation till I get sick, recover, find the lifestyle, fight for the lifestyle.